Podcast 404. Podcast not found. Podcast 404. Podcast not found.
Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week with episode 404, as per the bad joke. But unfortunately for you, this episode was actually eventually found.
And we were able to find news for it.
Yes, indeed. So, since it is, like I said, an episode divisible by 4, it is time to do
the news.
And we actually do, as you said, have a lot to go through. So, maybe the podcast isn't found, but the news definitely was. But definitely, if you do not want news or want to hear something else by us, check us out at the places we exist. We're hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, X or whatever. Haunt Weekly on Facebook, youtube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. We're also wherever you get your podcast from, and pay special attention to our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Haunt Weekly again. We have an announcement about at least one, possibly more, live episodes coming soon.
Yes.
Nailing down a few details. Hopefully we're going to have some awesome guests coming up soon. I know one of them is an awesome guest. We've had him before.
Yeah.
So, but yes, we're looking forward to this. We're going to have some live shows coming up. Facebook.com/Haunt Weekly. That's where we'll stream them. And that's where we'll announce them. All right. Well, most weeks, at least, we ask a question a week. And last week's question of the week was, what is your favorite ghost story? Dawn Garlic, a friend of ours and a member of our team, says that she likes classics like The Girl with the Ribbon or the Hook one, meaning like I'm assuming that's the serial killer uses a hook or something. I can't remember how that one went. But anyways, she says also that she's been obsessed with Sleepy Hollow lately. Benjamin Rodriguez, of course, chimed in and said The Girl with the Ribbon is actually The Adventure of the German Student by Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Huh.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And as a guy whose day job is all about plagiarism, this is going to sound kind of weird. But I think the fact we've forgotten who wrote it means it's a better ghost story.
Yeah. Probably.
It's been detached from its authorship.
And Victor Ruella says Sleepy Hollow, but also loves the ghost of the Queen Mary.
Yeah, and that one was interesting because the Queen Mary is also a haunted attraction. I don't know if it is or is not right now, actually. It was in limbo and we haven't heard any updates. But yeah, I forget that ship supposedly does have real hauntings and really hinges on it. And yeah, very, very interesting stuff. So, this week's question of the week is almost more of a survey. I'll be curious to see what y'all have to say about it. But we're asking you, what are your favorite type? What is your favorite type of Haunt Weekly episodes? We do deep dives, live episodes with guests. We do
news episodes. That's what we're doing.
We also do more casual ones, more fun and silly ones, like our ones on different video games. We do a actual surprisingly wide amount of stuff. We'd like to hear which you like the best, what you want to hear more of. And one of the reasons I ask is last week's episode about how to tell a ghost story has been gangbusters.
Yeah.
It has literally been, I think, our biggest episode in quite some time. Like, I was genuinely surprised at how much it was downloaded. I think it got at least, on YouTube and so forth, it did about 10 to 20 times better than usual.
Yeah.
And elsewhere it's had a significant bump, too. So, I don't know. I mean, is that something you want to see more of? Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, HauntWeekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly on Facebook, etc., etc., etc. All right. Well, since it's also an even number episode, it's time to do the conference reminders. We have gone through, we have gussied up, cleaned up our conference reminders. And Crystal will kick it off for this week.
All right. Creep It Real Festive. November 17th and 18th at Santa Ana, California. Heritage Museum of OC. No details yet, But you can check it out and watch it for them at creepitrealoc.com.
Yeah, they don't seem to do much with their websites, what I've learned. After that, middle of season, so bear that in mind. It's Son of Monsterpalooza, October 13th through the 15th in Burbank, California at the Marriott Burbank Hotel. There are celebrity panels and photo ops. Elvira will be there. Sam Raimi will be there. A lot of big names will be in attendance on one or the other. So check that out. The costume contest and the trade show floor. Monsterpalooza.com/fall.
And Legendary Haunt Tour will be November 10th and 11th in Salem, Massachusetts. And there will be visiting Haunted Overload, Fright Kingdom, Barrett's Haunted Mansion, LegendaryHauntTour.com. I think you gussied up too much because I got confused.
Sorry.
Obviously.
Filled in things. Yeah, what's interesting about that is I had actually not checked where Legendary Haunt Tour was going to be. Because we weren't that far down in the notes yet. And I'm like, and I saw on the site that they were doing Salem. And I'm like, didn't we just investigate like Salem as a haunt scene and found that there was surprisingly little in the way of haunted attractions in Salem?
Yeah, based on a different question of the week.
where if money were no object, where do you think needs a haunted house, basically?
It doesn't have one.
It doesn't have, and Salem does actually have one, but yeah, they're not quite the haven for haunted attractions. It didn't feel, it felt like there should be more.
Yeah.
Like it could support more. But no, those are 3 haunts, all on a good bucket list of haunts. So yes, LegendaryHauntTour.com, and they're departing from Salem, which is kind of kick-ass. All right. So as we've said earlier, we're going to be doing the news. Sorry. But before we jump into that, we want to talk about our trip to Lowe's for just a minute. This was interesting. I just found out that supposedly our Home Depots are supposed to have stuff now. Like today.
Oh, okay.
So we may have to check that out again. But we went to see Lowe's. They put theirs out very recently. And the first thing I noticed was there were a lot of 12-foot props.
Yeah.
They had at least 5 or 6.
A scarecrow and a mummy are the ones that I remember.
Yeah, and they had a couple others that were like at least about in that height range. They had a surprising amount. However, all the props looked very, very cheaply built.
Yeah, especially the mummy.
And it's bad because these are 12-foot props. They need to be able to take at the modest amount wind.
Yeah, especially in New Orleans.
Yeah,
along the coast.
Like, here's the thing. Like with our yard display, we typically during October have an alert on my phone that lets me know if the wind's going to get above 10 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it often does.
It often does, even apropos of nothing else. It'll do that. And the reason I do that is because if it's going to get above 10, if we have anything vertical, it needs to be better secured.
Exactly.
And it can take up to 10. I don't think these could take anywhere near 10.
No.
These would be fucking kites.
Yeah. Sails. Come sail away.
Also, there was a interesting prop they did have. These weren't the 12-foot ones, but they had animatronics you could buy and tether together and form a band.
Yeah.
To play any song you want. They were very adamant that you could play anything you wanted over the Bluetooth.
Yeah,
to demo it... No, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
But to demo it, the bastards used a parody of Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll, which, if you know much about me, you know Joan Jett is life, and that is really the end of that story. And also, I Love Halloween. The fucking meter's off!
Yeah.
You idiots, there's so many things that could have been blank and blank for Halloween. It would have been super easy to do. But no, it had... Anyway, that made me cry.
I guess they couldn't get the rights to I Love Candy
or something or anything. Jesus Christ. But yeah, one thing I did notice that was interesting was they, at least at our Lowe's, had Froggy's Fog machines.
Yeah.
The small ones, the 400
actually
watt
branded.
Actually branded everything, 400 watt ones. Interestingly enough, though, they didn't sell any fog juice.
Yeah.
By any brand.
Said that it worked with it, and then maybe just ours didn't have it out
it's
or
possible.
something.
It looked like the setting area was pretty full, but you're right. I mean, it could be that they had another pallet to unload or something, and that was deprioritized. But they were selling 400 watt Froggy's Fog foggers, and no fog juice. And if given the choice between a cheap machine and expensive fluid or the other way around, I'm going with the expensive fluid.
Yeah.
Because a fog machine is functionally a heater and a blower combined. And they're not the most complicated pieces of equipment. But the juice is what people breathe in and what you need to know is safe. A bad fog machine just won't produce fog. Bad fog juice can hurt people.
Yeah. Well, and also, you know, I haven't actually used a fog machine in a long time, but I know one of the reasons we stopped using them was because they were so hard to clean, but I've heard that this brand actually is easier to clean.
Yeah.
That's one of the advantages.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have definitely, we used fog machines fairly significantly the first years we were open, but we stopped. Because in an enclosed space, it's just begging for badness. No matter how ventilated you try to make it.
We've only used it twice, and once was we hooked up one of the
ice foggers.
The ice foggers to pipes to make it look like the pipes were busted.
Yeah,
and that was cool.
And that actually worked really well. It was a subtle effect. It was never going to cause a fog out in the haunt.
No,
it was never going to cause a problem. Because we're not talking about a large volume of fog. But no, I mean, yeah. But if I'm using a fog machine, I'm definitely going to get expensive fog juice before I get an expensive fog machine.
Yeah.
Just because, one of those you breathe in, the other, the worst thing it can do is not work.
Well, we may know a guy that could tell us the difference of fog machines.
That's true. I know a guy or two.
Yeah.
Other thing we did find and actually did purchase was they have their skeletons on sale, not on sale, it's just the price, for $35.
Yeah. And prices have gone up this year. Like, I don't know what's going on with skeletons, but they are, like, expensive.
Yeah, this was the first skeleton Go ahead.
Now, think of this. We went to Joann's, and a 5-foot skeleton was $100.
Yes.
I could have gotten a 7-foot skeleton at Lowe's for the same price.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, granted, with Joann's and their perpetual sales, the actual cost of that 5-foot skeleton was closer to $60, I think. Yeah. Still really fucking expensive, but some rich person can go, I got it 40% off, I'm so smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are $35. We actually picked up a couple, and they're also the good, high-quality skeletons, too, with the steel joints.
Yeah.
That we know hold up.
Yeah, and more posable than some of the others that you find.
Yeah, and the only thing that's going to be disappointing, or is disappointing to me, is that these skeletons are not the same color as the other skeletons.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't particularly care, but it's just like we have... Everything's bone white.
Yeah, they're a little weathered.
These have a weathered look, which would make them really good if you're going to distress them, because a lot of the rough paint work is probably already done for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would look really, really. But yeah, $35 for posable skeletons of a decent quality. Yeah, that is exciting to me. But other than that, other than the skeletons, I don't think we even really seriously considered anything.
No.
You found a lamp you liked, but then realized how cheaply made they were and how easy it was to break.
Yeah. Decided I could probably make one that I'd like even more.
And would also possibly have some lasting ability. Yeah, we found that. If you're into stuff for the Haunted Mansion, the movie and the ride, I guess, they do have a lot of stuff for that, including some animatronics and including a lot of home decor stuff. So something to consider.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next week we'll have Home Depot report. Because so far we've done Spirit and Lowe's, and neither really put us over the moon.
And I went to At Home.
Oh, how was At Home?
That was good.
Anything exciting you want to talk about and tell the nice people?
I ran into all the other haunters who were going to At Home in August.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, as we said before, we are doing the news this week, and unfortunately, we begin with some sad news.
Right. And I found this originally on Conjuring Media's page. Alex, who runs Conjuring Media, was a good friend of this person. Michael Myers Porciello has passed away. He was a longtime haunter from the Long Island community. There's a video of him out there on social media.
Yeah,
if you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, check it out. Once again, as with all news episodes, every story we cite or reference will be available in the show notes at hauntweekly.com and also in the description if you're catching us on YouTube, it's in the description there. Mm-hmm. So feel free to just click the link and follow up. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. This fucker. Mm-hmm. We're going to be on this for a minute, I have a feeling. And we just learned about this not that long ago, too. This came up as we were wrapping up and trying to pick up any loose ends.
Yeah, it was posted 10 hours ago.
Oh, that's the other reason. We literally began the notes too early. Mm-hmm. It's your fault. You started too soon. No. Yeah. But no. Husband has... Well, I'll just read the headline. Husband claims wife's death caused by quote-unquote zombie chase at Hollywood Wax Museum, says a lawsuit. This is an article by Terry Richardson at Myrtle Beach Online. Basically, a husband has filed a lawsuit against the Hollywood Wax Museum in Myrtle Beach, which contains 3 attractions, if I remember. Was it 3 or 4?
Oh, I don't remember.
I know it's the Wax Museum, the zombie thing, and that weird...
Oh, yeah, the princess
Princess Rescue. I don't get that. It was a house of glass. Yeah. Basically. But anyway, according to the lawsuit, they were at the Wax Museum March 21st, 2022, so over a year ago now, during their anniversary vacation. While at the museum, they went through the zombie outbreak attraction, which we'll talk more about in a minute. They claimed that an employee assured them that it was safe and no one would chase them. And then shortly after entering the exhibit, they were chased. Yeah. The wife apparently tripped into a prop gurney or bed and then hit her head on the ground, causing severe injuries. She was taken first to the Grand Strand Regional Medical Center, which is the local hospital, and was later moved to Wake Forest Baptist, closer to home. And eventually she died in October from complications from the injuries. Yeah, that had to be a rough patch of time there. She was 41, according to her obituary. This wax museum may well be familiar to many of you listeners. Yeah. For 2 reasons. Yes. First is that summer, we went to it. We talked about it in our Myrtle Beach Haunt Trip one. We discussed it, and we went to it. And one of the reasons we made a point to go to it was because what had happened literally 3 weeks after this fall happened, which was a shooting took place there, in which one of the actors got shot by a apparently gun-packing, gun-toting customer. Yes. That's the rest of this podcast is Tina Belcher noises. Oh, man.
So what is wrong with our brain that we hear, oh, somebody, shot an employee there because they got so scared, and we're like, we got to go check it out.
Well, I wanted to see how that happened.
Right. And I still don't know.
And yeah, and the thing is, it's become very clear after reading this article that the haunt we saw literally just a few months after the shooting. I think we were there in June, and the shooting took place in mid-April. Yeah. The haunt we saw was clearly very different, at least from how the actors were used standpoint, because I remember thinking if I wanted to shoot that guy, I couldn't do it. Yeah. Other than boo holes, and he was popping in and out like super fast.
Yeah, but there was no chasing. There was no... And
they were never fully in the same room with you.
No, and I think that... to me, it sounds like they changed a lot in those few months.
Something had to be different, because what was described in both of these articles was more or less physically impossible in the one we went to. Yeah. Which, honestly, good thing. That means it's safety, but I'd like to put this in some context. Both of these incidents never should happen in a lifetime things for haunt. Sometimes things do happen. I get it. Everything, there's always an element of luck in life. You can only mitigate so much, right? Right. I get that. So bad luck always happens. But still, these should be never in a lifetime moments. These 2 things happened within about 3 weeks of one another during the off season. Yeah. Because remember, we're talking about March and April here.
At a beach.
At a beach. This. Believe me, this is a very traditional beach of Veterans Day to Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is the season winding up now as we're talking. What the fuck? Like, legitimately, what the fuck? And on one hand, my brain is like, people, we've all had situations where actors went off script and they broke policy and they've done things like that. The challenge is, how do you handle and correct that in the moment?
Right.
Obviously, they did not do a very good job of correcting that, because the lawsuit reports that this chasing continued well after the incident. They had documented cases of it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, as a haunt designer, what the fuck was a gurney doing where it could trip someone?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand, because if you're following, safety guidelines, and you should be, it should be very clear for the customer to see where they're supposed to go. Now, I do understand that customers, when they are very scared, will do some really dumb things, and it's unpredictable.
Yeah, I always like to say that, no haunt running in a haunt is a bad idea. Mm-hmm. But it is also one of the most predictable things that's going to happen in a haunt.
Exactly.
And so you need to design your haunt to be able to be run through without tripping people.
Yeah.
You can put barriers up, but they've got to be barriers that people can hit when running and not injure themselves. This is why solid walls are so important in haunts. Mm-hmm. This is one of the reasons why we are adamant about that. We don't fuck around with our walls. Everything is very well built.
Yeah.
Much building.
Exactly.
But, you have to design it that way, because you can say no running, you can put the rules everywhere. People are going to fucking get scared and run. Honestly, it doesn't even matter if the zombie chases them. No. I have seen people turn and bolt from a crappy animatronic that was not even doing anything.
Yeah.
People will run and bolt from legitimately anything. Mm-hmm. So just assume it's going to happen. Make your haunt safe for people to run through. Do continue to tell them not to run, obviously. That's still a good thing to tell people. Just understand that it's something that will definitely not, a promise that will not be kept.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
But it's just, learning about, and this is the first we heard about this incident, for the record. Mm-hmm. This lawsuit was just filed. The incident itself apparently did not make any news at all. And it wasn't until the lawsuit was filed. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. And to be clear, this is a year-round haunted attraction. It has a year-round structure in which it has one, maybe two people inside at most. I think there was only one when we went through.
Yeah, I can't remember if there were one or two.
But it was definitely not more than two.
No.
And that's fine. That's kind of the structure of these types of haunts. But it's amazing that this had so many problems so close together.
It is.
And, could it be bad luck? I guess, but it would be extremely bad luck. However, given the haunt we went through a month and a half later to these things, I'm going to guess they were doing some stuff they stopped doing.
Yeah, and they changed it up.
They changed some things, because, like I said, I went through that haunt trying to figure out how anybody's getting shot in here.
And I also don't expect, a house of wax, Hollywood House of Wax, to have a really scary haunted house in the basement.
Fair.
Like, I expect it to be more family friendly. Some booze, but not, like, intense scaring.
Yeah. And what we got was largely that.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's zombies, and so if the digital effects and all that, maybe it'd be a little unsettling from a violent standpoint. But, I mean, it was no worse than, made-for-TV horror movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, what we got was very much I could take a family of four through that no problem type of experience.
Yeah, but I mean, we have no idea if she had trauma in the past, and that's why they asked to try to make sure that she wasn't going to be chased.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
And I'm going to say something here that probably, I mean, okay. If you're a customer of a haunted attraction, this has actually come up in court cases. Mm-hmm. you take on some degree of assumed risk just by being in the space. And one of those risks is being scared and whatever reaction comes with that. And that's one of the reasons why lawsuits against haunted attractions, even though they are fairly common, rarely go anywhere. Is the assumed risk and assumed liability of going to a haunted house. But if you're a customer of a haunt and you're asking the question, like, will someone chase me?
Yeah.
You're not going to get a straight answer. Because the haunt's not going to give you the straight answer because that's the haunted attraction. You need to say it like, look, I have PTSD around this. I need to seriously know this could be endangering to me.
Like letting, restaurants know that you have an allergy.
Exactly. You need, if you're going to ask questions about what's going on in the haunt, you need to make it clear that this is a medical or a mental health or some other reason why you need to know, not just because you're nervous about going in.
Yeah. Yeah, if this is a known reaction.
Yeah, if someone had come up to me in the front of the queue line and said, are they going to chase me? Well, in our case, I would have said, yep. I'd lied my ass off. We're not going to chase you.
No, we're not going to touch you. We're not going to chase you, but
I'm going to lie my ass off and pretend we will.
Plenty of people think we are.
So yeah, make sure that the people you're talking to know that there are medical reasons they need to know that. Because the thing is this, the people who are giving the information are part of the act.
Yeah.
Never forget that. Never forget that. We got to move on though.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's one story down. One regular story down. Next up.
We've got a lot to go through.
Yes, we do. We'll get it.
All right. This haunted mansion Airbnb is just like sleeping inside the Disney ride. That's the title. And it's by Brady McDonald from Brunswick News. So, there's a guy who built the ghostly retreat. And outside, it doesn't look like the haunted mansion. There's little touches of it. But once you step inside, a lot of the detail work that you see, like the wallpaper and stuff, is there. It's in Fullerton, California, so I know where we're going. And we're going to be broke because it's $450 to $750 a night.
Jesus, Murphy.
But, and I don't know which order I want to do this in because I've never been to the Haunted Mansion. So I don't know if I want to go to the real thing first and then stay at the Airbnb or stay at the Airbnb and then go to the real thing.
I would definitely say go to the real thing first.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it would, okay. But anyway, Jeff Schiffelin, has worked in the haunted attractions industry for 20 years. He built mazes and props for Knott's Berry Farm, Universal SeaWorld, and the Queen Mary. And the Haunted Mansion is the reason he got into haunting to begin with.
That is so many people's story.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
Exactly.
I'm surprised it's not mine.
Right. Well, it took him 2 months and $200,000 to transform the subdivision home into an Airbnb. He says that there are no ghosts inside. There's nothing supernatural, which I like, but he has put in speakers and things to make it feel haunted, and it's meant to be subtle. If you're not listening for it or looking for it, you're never going to see it.
So when I put on my sleepy time mask and put on my podcast, I'm safe.
Yeah. Yes, because originally you wouldn't have been, though, because whenever it first opened, they had rumblers in the bed that go off in the middle of the night. But it was too intense and people didn't like it.
It's the fucking Alien Encounters problem.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
But
no sleepy time mask for me. Smack!
Exactly. But, guests have been delighted in the interactive elements of the Airbnb, it sounds like a lot of fun.
I could definitely see this. And honestly, I think this could, if you are in a haunt in an area that has a lot of Airbnbs, this might be the type of thing to look at.
Yeah. You could do one based on your haunts.
Yeah.
Just take old props and costumes and stuff and put them as a museum piece in the front room.
And we noticed that the mortuary, they do that with their escape rooms. The escape room props and things just become part of the haunt.
Yeah.
As the haunt snakes through the space where the escape room takes place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can do this. This would be very interesting. I think this could be a very good good year-round business for a haunted attraction.
Yeah, and you could do an extra VIP type thing where if you pay extra to stay there during season, you get picked up by the bus with the crew and stuff and driven to the thing, and you're first in line.
Yeah, you can do a lot with this. I think this is a great idea, and it's so neat to see the haunt industry continuing to be creative and expand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have some HHN announcements, rapid fire style here, because they've been coming quick.
Mm-hmm.
First, there's a new house, Evil Dead Rise, according to John Squires, that bloody disgusting. And they also have announced other houses, including the Monstruos, the Monsters of Latin America, based on various area folklore, which sounds fascinating.
Folklore has been coming up a lot
lately.
And
I don't know. We had planned our folklore-themed haunt for some time.
Yeah.
This has been an idea we had rattling around for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone else, including us, are doing it this year independently. I don't think this was like anyone stole ideas.
No.
It just came up.
Yeah, it's just coming up everywhere.
I don't know why. There's also Holidays in Hell, psychotic seasonal celebration, which that just sounds fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to that. I would love to go to that one. They will also be incorporating the Wizarding World of Harry Potter's Death Eaters in one of the scare zones, it sounds like. And finally, and definitely most importantly, David S. Pumpkins will be a roaming character at the park.
Yeah.
That's really, that's I'm going.
You're
I'm
just
going to
going,
meet David S. Pumpkins.
You're just going to go to see some guy dressed up in a suit with pumpkins.
With two B-boy skeletons? Yes, I am.
B-boy skeletons. Yeah. No, I am sad that Harry Potter is going to be part of it, but I do understand why.
Well, it's Universal.
Exactly. So, all right. Next up, Six Flags is bringing IP to the 30th Frightfest at Magic Mountain. This article is by Robert Niles of Theme Park Insider. So Saw X and The Conjuring are the two new houses that are going to be up. And Frightfest for opening weekend, September 8th. The Conjuring Maze will include the farmhouse of the Perron family, and the Saw Maze will feature Jigsaw, of course.
Well, I mean, duh.
Exactly.
I hate to say this, but duh.
Yeah, they said something in the article about, diabolical traps and things. I
haven't watched any of the Saw movies in a long time. I think I fell off after 2 or 3 or so. And I know they're up to like 8 bajillion. But didn't Jigsaw die, then get reincarnated as someone else, or what?
I think it passed
on.
I'm not sure. I mean, we were together by this point, so we haven't seen the later ones. We just know that something happened.
Anyways.
But it would be a neat idea for an escape room.
Yeah. And there are several rip-off versions, and I think there is actually one licensed to do that.
But also returning are Condemned, House Party, Scream Break, Truth or Dare, Vault 666 Unlocked, Aftermath Chaos Rising, Sewer of Souls, and Willoughby's Resurrected.
Sewer of Souls.
Yeah.
Yum.
It's like the updated River of Souls, the River 6. Yeah.
They also have new scare zones, including the Devil's Triangle, Carniv Hell, which that is a fucking 6-lane pileup on the vocal cords trying to say that. Carniv Hell.
Yes, because you want to go Carnival, but that's not what it is.
It's Carniv Hell, and I think it's that VH next to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, I hope you people don't play Wordle.
Well, and the way that they listed them with Devil's Triangle and Carniv Hell next to each other reminded me of Devil's Carnival, which is another one.
Which now we're getting back into Terrence Dunich stuff. I've been in repo mode today, so yeah.
Yes, but wasn't the director of Saw somehow connected to
No,
Repo?
he was the director of Repo, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that they're just fans of Repo.
Yeah, obviously. But I don't know, I mean, I guess because it's Six Flags, they don't have the rights to use Repo directly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, we're turning our attention to Bridgeport, West Virginia. Tradition continues for Fairmont Halloween attraction. This is an article by Tanner Gilmartin at WDTV. And basically, every time I call our haunt an overgrown home haunt, I'm going to think of these people. and realized that actually were quite tame.
Yeah.
Because they have a ongoing tradition where they have a home haunt, or mostly a yard haunt from the sound of it, with a 15 to 20 minute walkthrough.
Yeah.
Meaning, averagely, if you're walking at an average, like just walking pace, that's about 2 miles. That's about a mile, rather. Sorry, about a mile. 15 to 20 minutes is how long it takes to walk a single mile. But basically, yeah, they just started. It started out fairly small, it sounds like, and just grew and grew and grew.
Yeah, it was their son Tyler's idea. He put up some decorations and realized he was onto something, and then joined the Army, and the family kept it going while he was away.
Yeah. I think it's really, really cool. And their opening night is September 29th. So, yeah, they'll operate Fridays and Saturdays through from then until early November.
Yeah. It's a long run for a home haunt.
Yeah. Okay, well, this next one hits closer to home.
Yeah. New Orleans City Park officials have announced plans to bring back 2 popular spooky events. This is by Shan Bailey at
No relation.
Fox 8 Live.
Actually, I don't know. There might be relation. I have no idea.
Yeah. So they're bringing back Ghost in the Oaks and City Park, which is City Park's Halloween event for families, features 4 nights of arts and crafts, pumpkin patch, trick-or-treating throughout Storyland, which is like a fairy tale world.
It's a kids' theme park, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be October 19th through the 22nd. And for adults, they're going to do Brews and Booze, returns for access to Carousel Gardens Amusement Park, beer for ages 21 and older, October 27th and 28th.
Yeah, what's interesting about this list to me is what's not on it.
Yeah.
And that is Scout Island Scream Park. And I actually checked, there is no news.
Oh, okay.
So whatever I don't know what you're typing, but it's probably not going to find anything. And Scout Island Scream Park was a big actual scream park they did with like 4 attractions in 2019. They did it seemed to be fairly successful. We went on an off night early in the season, and it was very busy. We had to wait in an incredibly long line for the laser tag.
Yeah, and the parking lot seemed full.
So it seemed like they were doing decent business. But whatever it was not enough, I guess, to come back after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because there was no way they were opening in 2020. I mean, City Park had shut down all activities, and this was a partnership between City Park and the mortuary. So, yeah, there was no way City Park was having it in 2020 or 2021. And we didn't hear anything about it last year and nothing about it this year. We held out hope that maybe it would come back because it was really fun.
It was.
It was probably one of my favorite haunt experiences from 2019.
Yeah, I don't
remember where our big trip was. Houston that year.
Oh, then yeah.
I think it was Houston that year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of the best experiences of that year. I really enjoyed it. I thought they had a good mix of things. Was looking forward to doing it again in 2020, and then, as we all know, what happened with that season. So yeah, interesting. Well, this one's going to be a quick one. It's a Facebook post from the Walk of Terror. They have found a new location, East Troy, Wisconsin, Walk of Terror, I should specify. They are now collaborating with the Alpine Valley Resort. And basically, they say the show is going to be similar, but at a new location. And also, they need actors.
Yeah. Bigger space means more actors.
Yeah, and one thing that was in all the news we saw and didn't include in most cases is that so many haunts are hiring right now.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you want a job as a haunt actor and you can't find one right now, I can't help you, man.
No.
I can't help you. You are literally beyond help. So, yeah, figure it out. All right. I'll take this next one since it was short. Drag legend Peaches Christ is bringing back San Francisco's quote-unquote scary saunas. Okay, this is an article by Astrid Kane at the San Francisco Standard. We'll link to the San Francisco Standard article, but I'll be honest, nearly all the information I got came from the source their site directly, because the article's kind of loaded in the way it describes this. But basically, the Terror Vault is a joint project of David Flower Productions, Non Plus Ultra, and San Francisco drag legend Peaches Christ. This year, they are presenting The Initiation. Their aim here is to play off San Francisco's very lengthy history of cults. But they are doing it with a new cult.
Yeah.
This is not a cult that is related to anything that's happened in history other than the fact it's in San Francisco, and San Francisco seems to attract a lot of cults.
Yes, and this is a perfectly acceptable way to do this.
Yeah. I will dock one point because in their marketing material, they threw in Anton LaVey with likes of Charles Manson and Jim Jones, and it's like, no. No, that's not right. But anyways, the idea behind the haunt is that you, instead of being a guest at a haunted house, you are coming to a recruitment seminar for insight. It's capital I, capital N, sight, like visual sight. A spiritual cult where very few make it through and survive the initiation. I highly encourage you to seek out the video. It's in the article and watch it. It is a very well done teaser trailer for it, and genuinely fairly disturbing.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the hell houses that the some of the churches do.
Yeah.
And if cults did that instead.
Are hell houses still things? I have not seen a hell house in our area in a long time.
Not since we went to it.
Yeah, we killed it. Our relentless MST3K. We murdered it. But yes, indeed, the haunt will feature 100 actors, will run from late September through Halloween, and tickets are on sale for between $55 and $85. Honestly, I wanted to include this when I saw it, though, because it's such a good example of how to base a haunt in reality, but not actually, use any specific person's trauma.
Right, or any specific person's religion.
Yeah. Exactly.
In the actual haunt.
Exactly. This is a very well done thing. I actually was very happy with it, so I felt like it had to be included.
Yeah. Right. Next up, the third new Sally Dark Rides attraction is opening in 2023 at Funtown Splashtown, USA in Maine. And this is from Ink Park Magazine by IMP.
By IPM. They call themselves IPM. Sorry.
Okay.
That was a typo on my part when I added that.
Yeah.
In Park Magazine, it's IPM.
Okay. But the new haunted dark ride at it is a Wicked Witch, her pair of magical familiars, nostalgic nods to the town's former beloved haunted attraction. And this is the first one to open there, a new ride in 20 years.
Wow. That is awesome. And be exciting. That's a dark ride. Even if it is obviously not going to be the scariest dark ride ever created. I mean, we're starting with the premise of Wicked Witch.
It looks family friendly, but I think it'll be fun.
But here's the thing: kids got to get their start loving this shit somewhere, right?
Yeah, and they've been opening things up for 3 generations now.
Wow! So this is pretty darn cool, and especially cool considering we talked about it before. How dark rides in general were for a long time an endangered species. And now it seems like they got so endangered they became a novelty. Yeah. And now people are wanting to open more and make more.
Exactly.
And I'm glad for that. I do worry about the dark rides we lost.
Yeah.
That never got recorded by those documentary people and never got in any way fixated so that we can enjoy it in the future. But yeah, still very cool. All right, I just love the headline on this one, so I'm going to read from there. You go, ghoul! Scarehouse is holding an ultimate zombie contest. This is an article by Christy Lachlan at Pittsburgh Magazine. On August 28th, Scarehouse will be hosting a contest to find the city's ultimate zombie, located inside the Pittsburgh Mills Mall in Fraser. Basically, they'll have celebrity judges, and they'll include local news anchor Sally Wiggins, TikTok star Brandon Maz, and Scarehouse's own Zombie Barbie will be among the judges. And Scarehouse itself opens September 8th. This is a brilliant marketing idea.
That's what I was just thinking.
This is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Just beautiful, chef's kiss, no notes, because everything about it is great, because they're already in a mall. So they're already in a location that hopefully has some foot traffic already. So basically, this is a way, and they're doing it about a week, but they're actually, they're doing it today, the day we're recording, actually, the day we're posting. But they're doing it about a week before they open. That's almost a perfect amount of time to get a lot of buzz and a lot of excitement, and maybe sell some pre-sale tickets.
Exactly.
I love this. This is beautiful, and it's probably not that difficult to put together, and probably not that expensive. Jesus Christ, everybody, this is the page you need to steal. Find, maybe not do a zombie contest, but you can find some other contest.
Monster.
Yeah, monster contest. Do the best roar or scream, queen scream. Ooh, that'd be a fun one.
Creepiest movement.
Yeah, you can find something. Just, yeah. I fucking loved it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and our final story this week.
It's Halloween every day on Spooky Kisses Haunts. And this is by Boston Herald and Stephen Schaefer.
Yes.
So it's a new Amazon series by Rich Perry and his wife, Beverly. And they were surprised to learn, whenever they started this adventure, that haunted houses make $500 million per year.
Which, as I've been quick to remind people, because very small as an industry, actually. Because, like I said, a single blockbuster film can make way more than that. Even now. But anyways, moving on.
Yeah. But there are 2,400 haunted houses in the United States, or haunted attractions.
Yes.
Two of them single. It's just the two of them going around to different ones. It offers more intimacy because it's,
They interview the owners, they record the attractions a little bit, and they've already got episodes on Field of Screams, Penhurst Asylum, and Markoff's Haunted Forest. Geez, where were we talking about that? Oh, yes, the Legendary Haunt Tour is going there.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
It is, but I've also seen a lot of those names that came up in the news search this time, because there's a nationwide USA Today or something.
Oh, they do that every year.
Best haunted house.
USA Today does that every year.
So they're all like, this haunted house is in the running, and this haunted house is in the running. Yeah. And if you're in the running and you're not putting out your press releases, you're a little bit late.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I know those lists, I mean, I hate to say they're bullshit. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean they aren't fucking great marketing.
Exactly.
Because great marketing, and bullshit, the Venn diagram between those two things is almost a fucking circle. So,
Yeah.
It's just something to think about. But anyways, yeah, we have not seen any episodes of this. We are going to make a note to watch at least some of it. It's $2.99 per episode on Amazon is the thing so it's apparently not part of Amazon Prime, which is a little sad, but
whatever.
We'll make it work. I mean, $3 an episode ain't bad. So yeah, we're going to check it out. We'll talk more about that. We've got, I guess, hopefully next week, if all works out, I want to talk about that show. I have a new video game I want to talk about. I'm going to start working on and playing.
Yeah, we've got to play that.
we got a lot of we got a lot of stuff coming up, so stay tuned. Even though we're going into haunt season, we're gonna be busy here.
Seasoning.
Maybe I'm just hungry and didn't know it. Where's my breakfast seasoning? It goes on everything.
No. We just had a really good.
Yeah, we did actually. I don't know why I'd be doing that. I'm objectively not hungry, actually. Quite the opposite. Anyway, but moving on. Thank you very much for spending damn near the past hour with us. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you learned something. Hope you found it interesting. Please check out more of what we do. We're at hauntweekly.com. Haunt Weekly on X/Twitter/ that weird site the alien runs. We're also Haunt Weekly on Facebook, youtube.com/Haunt Weekly, and wherever you get your podcast. Pay close attention to the Facebook page. Announcements probably coming soon. But about live episodes. Until next time, though, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week.